Hey everybody, it's Andrew from Zam.com here. We just came out of the Jedi Temple and unfortunately we can't take you in with us to show you what we saw, but let me just tell you, it was amazing. Zam doesn't give out E3 Best of Show, but if we did, we would give it to Star Wars: The Old Republic, hands down.
Our time has come.
The thing about the Old Republic that's always really excited me is that before we always had to do a BioWare game that had to cover everybody. You were going to make a character, but we didn't know what your character was going to be. You might be a druid, you might be a warrior, whatever. So the story had to encompass everyone. Now that we've done class-specific stories, we've actually had the ability to do a more specific and more unique RPG experience than we've ever even been able to do with single-player games. We've got a smuggler game that is entirely about being a smuggler, and your whole story is about being a smuggler, and a Sith, and a trooper, and a bounty hunter, and each of them has a completely unique experience with just as much choice and just as much depth and impact as any game we've done before, except this time, all of your decisions, you've got to make them and keep them, because there's no save button.
You assumed no force could challenge you.
This is the sacking of Coruscant. There was a build-up for quite a long time where they were trying to get a hold. The Sith were actually trying to knock out the capital. So what you see there is a group of Sith in a Republic ship that they've managed to get through their intelligence agency have stormed in because they've realized that the center for the entire security grid is in the Jedi Temple. So they have tricked the Jedi off the planet, the vast majority of the Jedi, which you see there is sort of the last people left. They've tricked the vast majority off of them, offering a peace treaty. And while everyone's off planet, they've stormed in using a stolen shuttle to get through the things, knock out the defense grid, and right after this, which you can sort of see in the comic book that's up on the website, the entire Sith fleet comes in, and you see that right at the end of the trailer, and starts to just bomb Coruscant.
Were deceived. And now your republic shall fall.
So there's a huge difference between, say, a Jedi class that shows up as the best person that's come out of a whole class of Padawans, hugely strong in the Force, and is immediately targeted for a special mission nobody else would be doing, than the Smuggler, who's always sort of an unlikely hero, and that's part of his fantasy. So the Smuggler actually starts the game by having horrible things happen to him, getting in way over his head, and having to survive against all of the odds. We really have to look at every single class and say, okay, what is the fantasy there? How do you want to become a hero? And what can we do to start you on that path? But we don't want to treat every class the same or think that everybody's heroic fantasy is the same. Well, from a story perspective, the Smuggler is a very different feel. One of the great things about doing a game where we're doing class-specific writing and class-specific total game design is that we finally get a chance to say, okay, what would it be like to live in Han Solo's world? So the Smuggler is about being in over your head, about flying by the seat of your pants, about having great lines, funny scenes, romance, and then when you're playing as a combat piece, it's the same thing. We want the combat to reflect the entire feel of the story. So he's not going to charge in, guns blazing, and try to take out a bunch of guys. He's going to hide behind a rock. He's going to throw something to stun you. He's going to kick you in the groin. He's going to try to find all the ways that you take a normal guy that, you know, however long ago was just trying to get by, make some money, use his ship for maybe a little strange dealings, and turn that guy into someone who can achieve these great things.
All the quests in the Old Republic are going to be fully voiced. You're going to be able to make decisions that are going to impact how your conversation and how the rest of your story is going to unfold. Your character has his own voice according to his class. You're going to have all sorts of like epic adventures that you could expect from like a single player game, but are now in a massively multiplayer online game. And the great thing is you're going to be able to experience these epic adventures with your friends. One way we like to kind of describe how it's going to work kind of thematically is it's going to be like the Star Wars movies, where you have Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia. They all have their separate stories. You know, Luke Skywalker is training with Yoda to, basically do a final fight with his father, Darth Vader, while Han Solo is being pursued across the galaxy and, has a bounty on his head, and Boba Fett's chasing him. But they also come together to, work with the rebellion against the Empire. So that's kind of how we're building this game. Is each person has his own personal story, but they also have a broader story that they come together to go through. We are a fully featured MMO, so we are going to have features that people expect from an MMO, such as raids and an auction house and like an economy and PvP. But we can't go into details about that right now. This isn't the time. We'll have more information about it later on. We can't go into too many details about PvP, but we have built two major factions that you get to choose from: the Republic and the Sith Empire. And those two sides obviously are at war with each other. However, if you're part of, if you're a member of the Republic, no, you can't go kill your buddy who's also a member of the Republic.